Hey! Hey everyone out there! Welcome to Celi's Hangout. Oh my goodness, episode 20. Jeez, it's pretty cool. I like 20. 20 is like one of my lucky numbers because I was born on the 20th. And as you guys know, my last episode of Celi's Hangout, it was the whole aging in the industry because I had a birthday and what it means to, you know, come into the new year of my life. And with coming into the new year of my life, I wanted to bring some really special guests to tonight's episode, which I'm really, really excited to introduce the panel because I have some really, really wonderful folks on the show tonight. I wanted to do a show on making it count. You know, it's the end of the year. New Year's coming. 2014 is around the corner. I can't believe it. It's like, oh my gosh, December is like almost over. Snow is here. Snow people. So, you know, and what it means to be towards the end of the year, folks start thinking about goals and resolutions and trying to make the new year count in a way. And so that's what the show's about, making count, how we can make those visions, those boards. People make vision boards, they make goals, and how we can make the most of them and most of our time here. So a little shout out if you want to be part of the conversation and talk to our guests and ask them questions or just join the conversation of what are your visions for the new year, what are your goals. Be sure to tweet us at CeliHangout, C-E-L-I Hangout. And then, of course, you know, hashtag CeliHangout, and you'll see the folks on the panel. They'll have their stuff up there, too, so you can tweet them, too, and follow them. So that's going to be cool. It's going to be a fun, fun episode. I want to give a special shout-out to the folks who always support me, casting actors of color. Thank you for believing in this platform and Celi's Hangout and inspiring artists. So shout-outs to casting actors of color. Of course, my folks over at Who I Am series, representing today for them. He was on, the folks at Who I Am were on the show episode 18, so if you missed that one, be sure to check it out. So I'm representing tonight, and I want to go ahead and introduce the folks who are representing tonight as well. So I want to introduce to you Kimberly Renee. Say hi to everyone, Kimberly.
Hi.
Yay! Kimberly Renee is, she's, okay, where am I? My notes. Yes, Kimberly Renee is a film and bibliophile. Born and raised in Charlotte, Kimberly Renee she's running the show over at realsisters.com. So if you don't know about it, you better know about it now. Now you know. Go over to realsisters.com after you watch Celi's Hangout and see all the wonderful things she's doing over there. She co-hosts Cinema Noir on Blog Talk Radio, and she's also the digital co-captain for the African American Film Releasing Movement, which, if you don't know about that, then you're really, really under a rock because I'm definitely in love with all the Mavericks, so shouts out and waving to all the Mavericks out there.
Shout out to the Mavericks.
I need to become a rebel, Kimberly. I'm going to become a rebel. I need to be through nation. Kimberly is also a self-proclaimed nerd and Twitter addict. She is interested in the images and the portrayal of women of color in film, television, and literature. So that's Kimberly, my people.
Yeah, clap up for that.
Yes, we love to have Kimberly on the show. And then also on the show, I have the wonderful Erica McLaughlin, everybody. What am I talking about that? Oh. A little delay, but it's fine. Erica she's an actress and a consultant. She graduated cum laude from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, UMBC, with a BFA in acting, and she studied with the HB Studio in T. Shriver. And she's done Erica wears so many hats. It's so incredible. And in the show, she's going to talk about how setting goals and how she makes all of that work. Multitasking should be her middle name. She's a playwright. She started her own company, which she does brand managing, and she consults actors and artists on how to take their brand to the next level. She has panels. I mean, there's just so much to say, and I'm going to let her talk about it. But Erica is an amazing, amazing woman. So this is Ladies' Night. So how are you guys doing? I just want to ask you guys, end of the year, vision boards, do you make them? How often do you make them, and how helpful and useful are they to you?
Well, I know I do. I love vision boards. I've been doing them for a while now. I do at least one a year, usually at the end of the year to get ready for the new year. But occasionally I'll do, specific boards if I have, something that I'm trying to work towards a goal, a specific goal. I'll make a vision board just for that one goal. So I think they're very effective. I love them. I think they focus you. So I'm all about vision boards.
For me, Celi, nice, Kimberly. For me, it's, as you said, I do a combination of things. So my idea of a vision board is a little bit different. But if you actually visit our apartment at any time, or the Tranquil Water headquarters, we do something called like branding blocks, and we'll have literally note cards of all different colors with different levels of things that we want to get accomplished sort of laid out. So I definitely believe in some kind of vision board or planning. It just has to fit, whatever it is that you're doing and what you're into. I love just visualizing. I do digital vision boards sometimes with things like Evernote, and I just kind of try to get it as technically possible as I can to make it work for my style.
Most definitely. It's funny because the first vision board I ever made, I think, was a couple years ago. I remember my cousin, we were doing New Year's Eve at her house, and that's what she was saying to me. She was like, oh, come over, bring some magazines and some clippings, and let's do a vision board. I said, a vision board? What is that? Like, what is that? I didn't really have the know-how. I wasn't up on The Secret at the time, and Oprah telling everyone to make their vision boards. So she was like, yeah, it's about visualizing what you really want and put it. And so I just brought a magazine and just started clipping out a whole bunch of stuff I wanted. I was just like, okay, sure. Put up there like a MacBook, pictures of some elephants, because I know elephants bring good fortune, and just like a whole bunch of little knickknacks, and a woman at a spa because I wanted a clear face and be beautiful. And I just put up all these random things, not necessarily thinking much of it, and I kind of put it away, had it up on my wall, and never really paid attention to it. But as time went on, I realized that I started attaining all the things that were on the vision board. Not every single thing on my vision board, but about 80% of it, which is really, really big. I mean, I got the MacBook, my face started clearing up. I started doing a whole bunch of things to work out and just live a healthier, better lifestyle. And without even realizing, there it was, my vision board was coming to fruition. So it was pretty awesome. But I think, what would you say, quote unquote, makes a good vision board? Because I kind of just threw it together. I didn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think in the beginning mine was kind of like that too. I'd have like, stacks of money, a big mansion, and all this other stuff, which, is good. But I wanted it, as I got older, and kind of, I wanted to be more thoughtful about it, and, make these goals that were actually attainable, in the span of a year, if that, vision board was for that year. So I think just being thoughtful about it, thinking about the goals that you really have, like where do you see yourself in the next 12 months, 6 months, 9 months, however far out you want to go, and just try to, really think about it and make your vision board kind of reflect the life that you want to have at the end of that time.
I think it's really useful also to have positive doppelgangers, not necessarily evil doppelgangers, but folks in the media, folks in life, in your industry who you like and who you look up to, and sort of also reverse engineer the process that they might have gone through to try to find things that would make it more clear to set your path. So what we do with a lot of our clients is, for example, if you want to be the next Oprah, we'll also look at some of the things that Oprah has, and some of the ways in which she's lined up herself, and kind of reverse engineer the process. I think it's great to kind of see that there is a path that you can follow to get those things as well.
Most definitely. Oprah is definitely one of those people that no matter whether you completely agree with her or don't, or however you feel about the woman, she's definitely a powerhouse, and she's making some real big things happen. And I mean, yesterday my mom she lives by Oprah. Oprah is like a god in this house. And so last night on the OWN network, she was watching the Nelson Mandela interview, which, you know, it's really big for all of us. I don't know where my video went, but you guys can hear me still, right?
Yes.
So she was talking about, you know, really wanting to watch the Nelson Mandela interview and how important that was because, I mean, we lost an amazing man. And right after the Nelson Mandela interview was her interview with 3 brilliant actors who have all been in some brilliant movies that are getting all kind of, you know, award season buzz. With the awards all coming up, we're really excited. Celi's Hangout's going to do a Golden Globes Hangout, so stay tuned for that. But we, my mother and I were just having a conversation about this show and talking about making it count and making your time here on Earth count. And we were thinking about Nelson Mandela and how we're constantly thinking when we think about our goals and our vision boards, like something like that. Oh my gosh, everything in my vision board didn't come true. I made these goals. It's the end of 2013, and I didn't reach the goals that I wanted. But I started thinking, man, this man spent 27 years of his life in prison, and you would think after 27 years, well, your life is kind of over. You know, when he was first sentenced to life, like, oh, my life is over. But this man is a testament of he lived 3 lives. You know, his life before jail, during, and after, and it's just this testament to show you that life is what you make of it and make it count. And you have now a new year to set some new goals and start over and set a new vision and rearrange what your vision can be. I mean, I'm sure his vision before prison wasn't the same vision he had after. And so I think it's just it was a great message and a great show to watch. Kimberly, I know you got a chance to watch Oprah's Next Chapter. What did you think about, you know, Idris and his goals? Because even he talked about that there was a time in his life where he thought he didn't have what it takes to sit in the same room as Oprah.
Right. Yeah, I love what he said. You know, he talked about that, like you said, at one point he didn't feel like, you know, he was in the right space to, you know, share a room with someone of Oprah's caliber. But now he feels like, you know, he's happy, he's in a different place, and, you know, he's completely comfortable being himself and being there in that space with Oprah. And I thought that was wonderful. Like, you have to, you know, believe in yourself to achieve a lot of the goals that you put on your vision board. Another thing that I really liked is he talked about advice that he's given his daughter is, you know, to just really celebrate being an individual. You know, I think she's 11, and he said, you know, right now she's really focused on, you know, kind of fitting in with the group at school and things like that. And he said, you know, you're going to be the best you that you can be. And just celebrate that individuality. And I think that's also really important as far as achieving your goals. Because if your goal is to be someone else, then you're never going to achieve that.
That was like my favorite line of the show. Individuality is the key to happiness. Exactly. It was just like, wow, like what a profound statement this man made. And, you know, how far artists sometimes have to go to be able to portray these characters. And he went as far as spending the night in jail, not in the same cell as Nelson, but in the same facility that he was in, and how much that changed him. And then really asking yourself, when you set these goals, being realistic with yourself with your goals. Like, are you really going to put in the work that it's going to take for that goal? You know, like, and I think also being specific with your goals. I think sometimes we just throw a goal out there. Wouldn't you say? There were times when we started this goal thing, we weren't really great at it at first, and we just said, I want to be an artist, or I want to be a writer, or I want to start my own company. And that's a really, really big goal and a great goal to have. But what about the really specific goals that are going to help you get to the overall theme of what you want to do with your life? So how would you say you would go about setting those smaller, specific goals that can really pinpoint making the bigger pie successful?
I really want to address that. You know, one of the reasons why I got into business was that I really started to see that a lot of actors and artists, their goal would be to get cast in a really great role. And after getting cast in that really great role, and even marketing and doing all the publicity and doing everything that was needed and expected of them, and even maybe getting some great reviews, they weren't left with a whole lot afterwards. And so there was very little in terms of like long-term strategic planning, some goal setting to set themselves up as a business. And so that's what Tranquil Water really does when we do brand management. And in terms of addressing the smaller goals and what you said, I think it's really important to, have someone who is there to help you achieve those, have a team around you, whether that be you talking with your mom and her keeping you on point, or, listening to the Hangout and listening to some of the tips that are given here, each time. I think it's very important to have people who are around you who will hold you accountable for those things, because we actually stopped saying that we do brand management, period. We do brand strategy overall, because you've got to kind of have a long game for what you want to do as an artist.
That's definitely something that really resonates with me, because as an artist for a really long time, I'm saying the same thing you're saying. I just want to be an actor. I need an agent. I just want to be successful. And what the hell does that mean? And how do you do it? And you want all these things, but don't necessarily always know how to get it. And it's a real struggle. And I think that's for anyone, like a painter or someone who wants to write a book. Like, how do you get a publisher? How do you get an editor? How do you get a published company meeting in the first place? I just think about all kinds of walks of life with people.
And more importantly, do you know why you want them? Because that's half of the thing right there. When you get to the agent, it's like, so what do you want me to do for you? If you don't actually know where you want to take it and you don't have that vision sort of set out, a lot of times they don't know what to do with you either. And that's just,
Yeah, you kind of get in the room with them, and they do ask you that, don't they? Like, so, because it is a partnership, essentially.
Exactly.
Whatever it is that you're going to do, there's a give and take there. And so if you're a writer, you're writing for a particular audience, there's something that you need to give that those, folks who are receiving your material, that they're going to get. And so really searching within yourself, like your purpose and your vision, and having a clear vision of that. And I definitely think that having that support system and people who hold you accountable, Erica, you hit like the nail on the head, because I took this wonderful class with Dallas Travers, who's like an actor's advocate, and she talks about having I would call it, in church we would call it a journey partner, but in the sake of, the business and the artistic community, we call that, I think she called it I forgot what she called it, but like a buddy. And she had this buddy system where it's like you have 3 different people you check in with. Someone you check in daily, someone you check in with weekly, and someone you check in with monthly. And you kind of set your goals with each other. Like, obviously the person you speak to daily, you call them that morning and say, hey, these are my goals for the day. This is what I want to accomplish today. And that person helps hold you accountable. And you'll call each other, like you set a time and a schedule. You speak every morning, and then the next day when you speak to them that morning, or maybe you make it that evening, and that person will ask you, well, did you get so-and-so done that you talked to me about yesterday? And it's just having a buddy system to make sure that there are folks around you that will hold you accountable for those little things that you want to do, whether it's, making a target list. Like, oh, today I want to make a target list of people I want to work with in 2014, and so tomorrow I'd call you and say, hey, Kimberly, did you make your list of your target list? And I realized that it takes a lot of work to have a buddy system, not only because you have to hold yourself accountable, but you also have to worry about someone else and checking in on them, and you kind of really have to show up for them and show up for yourself. It's a lot. I realized it's really, really a lot. But when you really put the work in, it truly pays off, I feel. The buddy system's not for everyone, but it's something to think about. And even if daily is a little too much, then something that you do, once a week, or definitely once a month, checking in with those mentors or those folks that really help you or inspire you. Just Celi's 2 cents, you don't gotta follow it.
I had a friend who she didn't do a vision board, but what she did with herself is like make a contract. So she would have her spiritual and her 3 goals that she wanted to accomplish, and a physical section and 3 goals, like social, financial, and then she would get like 2 or 3 friends to witness the contract that she made with herself, so that, she did have them kind of holding her accountable, every other month or so, kind of checking in to see how she was doing on maintaining those goals. So that accountability piece and having, a buddy or three to help you out is very important.
I love that. I love that. We do weekly meetings with our clients. We do have a brand management agreement, so we start with the assessment, and after we determine really what your short-term and your long-term goals are, who you are, and what you're looking to accomplish with your overall brand, then that's exactly what we do. We have a weekly consultation where we are checking in with clients every week and seeing how they're progressing with that. And in terms of the buddy system and any or the contract or whatever you choose to do, I think it's most important just to realize that this is not uncommon in other industries. I went to a BNI networking group, and you see people from all sorts of industries there every week at 7 o'clock in the morning about their business. It's just for some reason we as artists, we just forgot to, take care of the business part of it sometimes. And I think it's not, it is difficult, but it is the difficult part that's going to help us to grow just that much. And then we can go back to focusing on, making great art.
Yeah. Is this hard kind of, well, it's a struggle, that balance, that pull, and a lot of artists sometimes complain about it, oh, I just wish I could focus on my actor, I just want to do my craft and not have to worry about the pull and the business, and Dallas likes to call it administrivia, which is all the administrative stuff you have to do, putting together, your email contact list and sending out those email blasts of keeping people updated. But it's all part of holding yourself accountable. And I think about just marketing strategies. Think about Target and Bed Bath & Beyond and Walmart. These people, it's before they even say the name, you know who they are, and it has something to do with their consistency, and their branding and how they package that together, and really looking at yourself as a brand and setting a goal to really fit that as part of your overall package. The same way you get up and go to an acting class and decide that that's really important, you have to decide that setting these goals for your business is really important too, because ultimately it's called show business for a reason. It is show business.
I run across this all the time because, of course, we do offer these services to people, and so when you start talking about money and investing in yourself, artists all the time are like, oh, I don't know, which is fine. But that means that you're going to be an artist. You're not really focusing on being an artist as a business. And those who are, those are the brands. Those are the ones where you really know before that person walks in the room, and they're booking things based on their brand. I personally didn't have an agent or a manager for 15 years. This is the first year that I've really been represented by anyone. And throughout that whole time, I was booking, and it was based on all of that, what did you call it, administrivia type of stuff, because I would send out an email blast, and then I would go and see someone, and they would be like, hey, I saw that you were doing this thing. Just like how you and I met off of social media, really. There's a lot of people that kind of know me like that, and I think it's really powerful. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine, but that's what makes me my money. So if you don't want to make money and you just want to do art, have at it,
Most definitely. I mean, I think about you, Kimberly, with your whole movement with Real Sisters and Cinema Noir, Blog Talk Radio, the film industry is really, really much about a business. The box office numbers, that opening weekends, and that's a big thing that the Affirm movement is about those numbers, making sure that we support Black cinema, and that opening weekend. I mean, I went to an Affirm event for A Middle of Nowhere for Ava DuVernay's film, which she's incredible. Is there anything that woman cannot do? And I learned something new that day at that event. We had a post-film talk, and one of the producers was saying that if you go out to the box office to see a film on a Sunday, it does not count towards the opening weekend numbers. I had no idea because they tally all the numbers Saturday night.
Exactly.
So, Kimberly, talk to me about that, about the Real Sisters movement. What kind of goals do you guys set for yourselves to make your business successful?
Well, what I'm all about is basically uplifting women of color in, film and television, because the images we see so many times are not representative of the majority of us. But because, those are the images that are put out there, people tend to think that those images do represent us, and it's not the case. So when I started my blog, I just wanted to, give a little love and social shine to the direction of those women who, I love, and I know that they have a big fan base, but we don't get to see them as often because, like you said, this business is all about money. And it's not your big name Julia Roberts or whatever. And so just giving some love to women of color in this industry who are putting in the work and, giving great performances and just might not get the recognition that they deserve. So yeah, that's what I'm all about.
So Kimberly, talk to me, what are some of your goals and visions for 2014?
Okay. Well, like anyone, I have the standards. You want to be a better person. You want to, be nicer, be more thoughtful, and things like that. But as far as Real Sisters and Cinema Noir, both of those, we really try to, give a voice to, like I said, women of color. As far as Real Sisters and what Cinema Noir, it's 3 African American women talking about film and giving that black female perspective. And we talk a lot about, film in general, black film. We talk about Latino film, just the unspoken voices that don't get to be heard a lot. There's a whole lot of talent out there, but I feel like with Hollywood, they promote those 3 or 4 big names, or whoever is the it girl of the moment or the it guy of the moment. And so just, we are big proponents of independent film. And so glad that so many independent films are getting some love this year. Like we talked about Fruitvale Station, that's one of our favorites. Films like Mother of George, which is an excellent film that I wish more people had gotten a chance to see or will get a chance to see this year. And just, really championing those independent films like what the firm does, have the distribution is the issue, money is the issue. So like you said, what a firm does, they distribute independent films so that people can get to see them in the theaters, which is not always the case. So just to continue to do that and be a champion for black film and film in general and independent film, black women, just want to do that the best that I can.
And Erica, what are some of your visions and goals for 2014?
2014, we are taking Tranquil Water global. This Saturday, actually, we are executive producing the unofficial Google Plus Film Festival. So this hangout is actually really great because it is helping me to get more experience with what is going to be happening on Saturday with us. But just
Uh-oh, Erica, you're cutting off. It's like Erica's cutting in and out.
We've got.
She's having some.
Are you losing me?
Yeah, I was losing you. You're having some technical difficulties.
Am I better?
You're back. Oh,
Got it. I'm back.
Okay.
All right. So I was just saying that this year it's all about. Oh, losing me again?
No, you're good.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. This year it's about taking artists to the next level.
So I wanted to ask both of you, in terms of your vision and your goals. You have your goals set, you have your visions, but then how do you make that into a board per se? You know, I really support All Right TV on YouTube. It's an inspirational Christian channel started by Tracy Edmonds, you know, Babyface's ex-wife. She went off to do her own thing, and she has this really great channel that has some really great stuff. And one of the vlogs on there Her name is Clorinda. Yeah, Clorinda did a vlog on, she does vlogs on parenting and being a better parent. And one of the things she talked about was doing a vision board with your child. And it's a way of getting them away from, you know, the electronics. And so she talked about, you know, really putting together that a vision board is a statement piece. I never thought of it that way, but she talks about it being a statement piece about who do you want to become? What do you want to have? And what do you want to do? And even though you may not have those things right now, but it's to empower your thinking as to what's to come. And so she one thing that she talked about that I never thought about doing is in the center of your vision board having a picture of yourself or a picture of you with your family to keep things in perspective, that everything around it, everything else that you're putting around this vision board that you want, the center of that is you and your family. And always staying true to you. And I thought that was so beautiful. Like, I was just like, wow. We think about all these goals and these visions that we want, but ultimately it comes back to self and family and values and our morals and who we are as people. Like Kimberly, I know you touched upon that too as well, talking about, you know, really, really being grounded and understanding, and your individuality all comes to birth when you think about your goals in that way. So I think hopefully that should empower you guys for your vision boards this year. I want to give a special shout out to everyone who's on the Hangout with us. If you're just joining us, tweet us at CeliHangout. Shout out to my good friend Nikki, who's a writer. She's incredibly talented, and I know you're going to get your vision board done. I will hold you accountable. So Kimberly, how are you going to put this kind of vision and goal of being supportive to women in color, how do you put that on a vision board? Like, what are some of the things you put on yours?
Well, throughout the year, I kind of, you know, tear things out of magazines that I think might want to put on my vision board at the end of the year. I love quotes, so I'm always, you know, cutting out letters and things like that. So, you know, ideally you want to find a visual image that represents whatever it is that you want on your board. But if I can't find it, you know, I'll just cut it out in letters and it looks like a little serial killer note. But, you know, I make it work. So for me, you know, as far as, you know, being a champion for Black film and wanting to support Black film, you know, just look through the magazines and find, you know, for maybe Cinema Noir, an actor or a director or that I want to talk to or interview on the show, and just, you know, try to work, you know, have it on my board and then try to think of ways that I can make that happen. You know, who do I know that may know someone who knows someone who knows someone? And, you know, kind of like you said before, you know, you can't just put things on the board without, you know, then putting in the work to follow up on it. You know, if you just put a mansion on the board, you're not going to automatically get a mansion unless you're working towards, you know, building a foundation to get to a place where you can do that. So I think, like I said, being realistic with the goals that you put on there, knowing where you are right now and what you can realistically accomplish within the given time frame. But, you know, I can get inspiration from all types of things. Like I said, just pulling from different magazines, you know, a vision of a sunset, or, like I said, an actual person that I want to interview or want to talk to. Or, like I said, a lot of the times just the words, just seeing the words on the board of whatever you want to accomplish can really help you. Or if you have a personal mantra, you know, put that on your board too. So as a daily reminder to focus yourself to get to that goal that you're trying to achieve.
I love that. Erica, what do you put on your vision board?
I really believe in the power of words and seeing words and sort of not regurgitating, but consuming them and having them be a part of you. So I'm actually putting together a visual manifesto of things that I really believe in and believe to be true, as well as incorporating some images. So in terms of empowering the artists and taking Tranquil Water global, some of the things that'll be on my vision board will definitely have some of the locations which we want to take the festival next year. We're definitely going to have some of the businesses that we want to work with. But in addition to that, we're sort of writing like our creed and really just a visual version of our manifesto. Things that if I get 15 seconds on a worldwide mic, I'm going to scream out to the world. So that's kind of where I'm going. I love words. I started as a playwright, as you said, so I'm definitely kind of like leaning towards that lane.
I love it so much. I mean, it's definitely a magical time of the year, and even though we're busy thinking ahead and thinking about the new year and setting these goals, I think it's also a great time to reflect and not so much reflect on what you didn't get done in terms of all the goals you didn't finish, but really celebrate the goals that you did accomplish and taking the time to really bask in your journey. I think a lot of us are so busy about what's ahead and moving ahead that we're not celebrating the present and being really joyful in the present moment of where we are. Because like I said with Nelson Mandela, like it just really clicked with me, like wow, like, and even with this new birthday, like not being stuck about where I am right now, like, oh, I'm 20, la, la, and I'm not where I want to be, you know, as opposed to saying, wow, I'm 20, la, 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 and I'm exactly where I should be. I'm exactly where God wants me to be, and there's a bigger reason and purpose to what's happening, and this journey will be an inspiration to someone else. So I'm very excited to what's happening right now in this time of my life and being in this moment of Celi's Hangout, talking about making your life count and talking about setting those goals. So I want to celebrate you guys, Erica and Kimberly, two women who are just doing some amazing stuff in the community and really helping the community, because that's what it's about, and that's why I love doing Celi's Hangout, because we get to bring some great people together. I hope we can do this again soon, but I want folks to be able to know what your movement's about, reach out to you guys. So please tell folks how they can stay in tune with you so they can keep you accountable on your goals and your visions, because you talked about it on the show, so now you got to do it. So how can we got a contract between all of you guys. Right. It's a contract now. So how can folks stay in touch with you?
For me, you can go to realsistas.com, which is REELSISTAS.com. Same as on Twitter, same handle on Twitter. I'm on Facebook, Real Sistas, Tumblr. It's all about Real Sistas. So you can find me there. Also, if you want to listen to Cinema Noir, we're on Blog Talk Radio, as you said. So the website is blogtalkradio.com /Cinema in Noir. And we're also on Twitter and Facebook as well. And another quick shout out to the Firm Mavericks. You know, if you want to volunteer with the firm, if you love film as well, black film in particular, and you want to support, you can volunteer with us. Just go to firm.com/volunteer. And again, if you want to be a rebel, which is our new membership program, you can also do that as well. FirmAction.com.
I told you I'm joining. I'm a rebel this year. That's what I'm
holding you accountable.
Hold me accountable to that.
Yes.
Erica?
Nice. Well, this Wednesday, you can definitely come and check me out. We have a major event called For the Artist. It's in combination with Local Talent Connect. It features Mario Winans, Rayvon, Allure, Son of Big Pun, Chris Rivers, and lots of local talent. And so the beautiful part about it is a local talent festival. That'll be at Stage 48 this Wednesday. On Saturday, we also have the unofficial Google Plus Film Festival going down at Katra Lounge. So both of those can be found on our website, which is twny.biz. You can also find us on Twitter at twnybiz, same thing on Facebook. And then me, you can just find me, Erica McLaughlin, all over the web. Just hit Google.
If you're following Celi's Hangout, all of our guests who come on my show, I'm constantly supporting them and tweeting their stuff and retweeting what they're doing, because I always say it on the show and I say it in my emails that I send out to my folks. It takes a village. It really does. You know that, that whole thing, it takes a village to raise a child. I really believe that it takes a village to start all kinds of movements and to support each other and really evoke change in the community. So this is the village, and you're now a part of it, and join the movements and retweet each other, and just really, I want that to be one of your goals. I don't want to tell you what your goals should be, but I just really want to encourage that one of your goals should be really making new relationships with people. I think we don't connect enough with each other, and with, like you said, this new media age, like Erica, Erica and Kimberly are both folks I met literally through Twitter, you know? And then over time, I was able to meet Erica in person. And since I'm going to be a rebel, Kimberly, I know I'm going to meet you in person soon. So, you know, it's one of those things where ultimately it really is about the relationships you form, and not relationships for the sake of making a relationship. Like, oh, let me get on Twitter and follow this person and just tweet them all the time because that'll make me look good and what can I get out of it? No, but genuinely there be a give and take, and there genuinely be a real want to build with someone. And one thing I really took away from Dallas's class is that she said it should be, you know, 20% self-promotion and 80% giving. And that's something that we don't really do. Like, we get online and we just self-promote. But when you really are giving to other people's causes and their movements, you know, like I was talking about the marketing campaign, it takes someone to see your name at least 7 times before they remember who you are. 7 times. So think about it. Are they remembering you because, I can't stand Celi, she's always tweeting about that darn show she got on? Or, wow, like, I really love following Celi because she puts an inspirational quote up every day, or she has this really cool pictures she puts. Like, you're putting out good energy, therefore it comes back to you. So that's just my little knick-knack for the end of the year, something to bring you into 2014. Like Kimberly was saying, be more positive, be more giving in the world. It comes back, I promise. There'll be some weeds in the field and in the garden, but don't let that deter you from seeing the beautiful flowers. So it's my little corny line for the night. Kimberly and Erica, I just want to say that I'm so inspired by both of you. I really, really mean that. Like, I've been following you guys for a while, and it's just one of those things where you see other women on their hustle. It's definitely something that tells you, wait, what am I doing what I'm supposed to do today? You know, so again, keeping people, and even if they're not immediately part of your circle, Kimberly and Erica may not be in my immediate circle, but there are people I consider in my bigger circle, and people that just by watching them and seeing them and supporting them is a way of keeping me accountable of what I'm doing. They're busy, that means I gotta stay busy. So I just want to thank you guys for coming on the show, giving me your time, giving the cyber community your time and your knowledge. I just want to ask you guys, if there's one thing, or not just, you don't have to limit it to one thing, but what have you learned the most about your hustle and who you are in 2013?
I think for me, I've learned that there are more people out there who have the same goals and who have the same vision and who also support the same things that I do. And like you said, it does take a village, and just a matter of reaching out and finding those people. Social media has been very good for that for me personally. Like you said, we met through Twitter. My co-host for Cinnamon Noir, we met via Twitter. We've met in person, I think, one time, because I'm here in North Carolina and they're in New York. But, you know, you have to, social media gets a bad rap sometimes, but there is a lot of good out there, and you can find and build a community that supports your goals and the things that you are passionate about if you try.
Erica, what did you learn in 2013?
Wow, well, 2013 was a tough one for me. I'm not going to lie. I've been doing a lot, but it was a very tough year. And what was great about it is what I learned, that as long as you have something of value, as long as you really continue to provide value, as you were saying, and not just be taking, but be giving and really involved, and you continue to do that and stay with your purpose, people will follow and you will persevere. We've gone through lots of ups and downs, but as it's been way more ups than downs because we've just been very focused and purpose-driven, and we found that people are really loving the movement, which that's the biggest thing that I can learn and pass on to anyone. Just stay focused on what you're doing, and just be true to you and to your brand, and others will come.
you will build it, they will come. So, you know, I always say it every time I do a Celi's Hangout episode that the time went by so fast. It goes by fast every Monday. I really just want to thank you guys again for coming on the show. I want to thank again Casting Actors of Color, Who I Am series, all the folks that support Celi's Hangout. Be sure to tweet us, tell us what you think about the show. As always, if you missed it or came in late, you can always check out the show on youtube.com/CeliHangout. This whole episode will be there for your disposal to watch it later or next month or whenever. Share it, retweet it. It takes a village. Tell people about this great show and why you love it so much. I hope it inspires you to make your vision boards this year, to set some new goals, to do some new things, and just know that Nelson Mandela left an amazing, amazing legacy. And his film, I can't wait to go watch it. Idris, I already know, has done an impeccable job without even seeing it yet. That Oprah interview just had me like, oh, I got to go see this film. So I'm definitely going to go support that because his legacy is something that touched me, touched my family, you know, coming from an immigrant family and coming to this country. I just think that I'm moved by what he's created, and I'm moved by the cinema community that decided to make a film about his life because the timing is just crazy. It comes out right when he passes, and so now we have a film for generations to come to know who this man is. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the stories that are being told now and that we're able to tell to so many new people. So stay tuned. Celi's Hangout, we're going to be doing a Golden Globes panel, kind of like round table. And Kimberly and Erica, you guys are invited. If you guys want to come back, the more the merrier. We're going to do 2 panels, a women's panel and a men's panel, where we'll be discussing the Golden Globe nominations, who and why is nominated, and what we think about it from the artistic viewer's perspective. Because, you know, The Hollywood Reporter has their roundtables, and they do it with the actual artists. But I thought, how cool would it be for the folks who receive that art to have their own roundtable of how we feel about these films and why the politics behind why we think they're nominated. Because we all know there's some politics involved. So stay tuned. Celi's Hangout's doing some awesome things. Until next time, bye, guys.
Bye.